Rise, ye ashen, tarnished, chosen undead, and welcome Souls fans, new and old, to your next installment of the Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin Platinum Guide. So, in our last video, we had the atrocity that was the death of Bernhardt in my boss run, which is not what you will have done in yours, because Bernhardt has to survive yours. Thankfully, I can keep this going. Otherwise we basically lose everything we've done in all those previous videos, and I've got to then get to this point again to be able to carry on the series for you. So we're going to carry on without for now. Right, to the notes. Shrine of Armana. An annoying section, to say the least. Down and through the door first. There's an item that we're going to knock down. There it is. And there's a Templar here. I'm going to use Ring of Restoration to get back some health. As you can see, there's a basilisk there in the distance. That's what we're going to pop. Like so. Not a particularly good chest, but we've come this way, we might as well. I always popped this basilisk somewhere. I got told that it can then jump down or do something, so I've always made a habit of doing it. I don't think you need to, but it's a paranoia on my part, so... And because I've always done it, I can't tell you necessarily the other way. Right, down the stairs. Right. As you can see there, so the glittering mass that is there, these are monstrosity enemies who are currently and conveniently asleep thanks to the singing that's going on. However, if you get close to them, they will wake up and they will still go to attack you. Grab a soul item. And we are going to equip our lightning short bow. And we should be still under 70%, yes. So you can see here, whenever you see gold glittery, you need to be aware. As you see, there's a lot of them there. Right, we're going to use our bow. One arrow only. We're going to lure the Templar, and we're going to go for a backstab. Thank you, Dark Souls 2. Oh, thank you so much, Dark Souls 2. Not sure what happened on that first roll where it hit. Even with 0 adaptability, that should not have hit, but it did. Okay, look right and you will see the little glowing item over there. That is the one that we knocked down. And that is a twinkling titanite. We like those, they upgrade our best weapons. Right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to use our bow, and let's see what arrows we've got. We've got some wood arrows, perfect. Not going to waste poison arrows. All we're doing is just making sure we only get one of these at a time. because in the middle here is 2 effigies. There we go, 2 human effigy. Back to the middle. Bop the remaining sleeping monsters, so we can see there's these 2. Before the hut, around the back of the hut is a chest. So we're going to pop you. There's the cursed chest. The chest isn't really worth it, but we might as well since we're here. Yay, water. If we get thirsty, we can drink. Inside, you'll notice the singing has stopped. Yep. She will start singing again, thankfully, but exhaust the dialogue.
We will sing. We know not, and what do you see? But what we know, for we, when we sing this, is there any, perhaps, this is, when we sing this, when we
there we go.
This.
She gave us a stone. Okay, through the next door. You're going to get to this weird, poor, graphically glitchy post. Double dark orb, the monster to the right of it. And then what we want to do is we're going to try and lure out the Templars one at a time. No. There we go, that's what we wanted to do. Because as you've seen, one on its own can be problematic, and a mob of them actually very much can easily shred your health. We're actually going to summon an NPC just to help us deal with Templars. Thank you, Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2. Thank you, Dark Souls 2. Thank you so much. And we're going to still use the bow on the last one, because we want to deal with them before we go too far forward and start having to deal with the monsters. Oh well, that works too because he hasn't got a shield up. Completely forgot that I had the bow on, which meant that my weapon cycling didn't work as planned. Oh well. There we go. Right. So plenty of soul items around. And there we go. The singing should start with the Templars gone. There are 3 monsters on the left and 3 on the right. So let's take our many soul items. And just be careful, you can probably just about see it, that harsh line there is, that is the edge of the platform. So, something to be mindful of. Easy kills, easy souls. I've got my ring restoration on, so I'll slowly get my health back while we do this. There we go. And then, so there is a chest you can just about see there, which has got another one of these. It's a dragon charm, we don't need it, but easy souls. Then it's up to you if you want to. We've been opening the chest because we can. We might as well carry on with this. We don't need this, but we've got it anyway. Right, into the cave. Spell bombs, sleepers, and chest for cave. So first of all, there is a mushroom. Want to get rid of that first. Then we're going to spell bop the sleepers so that we don't wake up. As I said, when you get close, that's what wakes them. So if you do walk in, then they would all wake up. We don't want that. Spell bop 3, and then come into that. Chest is twinkling titanite, so we definitely want to grab that. And out, and through the fog door. And once we go through the fog door, we're going to immediately go to the right, and we're going to trigger the bonfire before anything else. So heading straight for the building. Make sure the bonfire is lit. Rest if you can. If not, you may just have an enemy. One of the enemies we're about to pop. That you'll have to beat. Right. Down the steps, as you can see here, there is a monster. Some kind of monster. The monster lives. And this is where, when we got our 300 poison arrows, this is where they come in. So make sure you're using whichever trigger. The left set of arrows is your top trigger, or 1, so R1 in this case. And your right ones, which in my case are the poisons, that is R2, or your... No, that's your trigger. Bumper. 3, and 4. Once the health counts down, we're just going to let poison do its job. So yeah, left set of arrows is R1 if your bow's in your right hand, L1 if it's in your left hand. Right set is R2 or L2 respectively, bumper and trigger being 1 and 2 for Xbox. Monster, back out left steps, range battle with mage poisons, back out back steps for next mage range. Where? Oh, there. So just make sure, be mindful of the floor. There is also a monster here, so let's get that dealt with first. There you are. As soon as poison takes effect, get behind cover. There we go. come round if the monster did drop something, because it could be a human effigy, and those are always handy for when we start doing the chaos section. If we die there, we have to spend 2, one to reverse our humanity and another one to then open the void. Monster behind the pillar, now onto the path and head to the left slope. Use pillar for ranged battle with mage number 3. So that's the left slope that I was talking about. That's where we want to get to. That was mage 1. There we go. So we're just using that post . There we go, we got the poison on. There we go. Right. No, we know you're there. There we go. Pop the monster. And then we're going to run and jump onto the slope. Damn it. There we go. And from here, we're going to have a range duel where we have cover and they do not. 4 arrows is the trick. There's poison. Bum, ba, bum. We're also going to fight that one, so we do need to aim slightly above head to make sure that we get the arrow drop on. There we go. 3 and 4. Doesn't matter the distance. The fact that the arrow itself does very little damage doesn't matter because the poison, as you can see, is broken. Dark Orb. Equip. Excuse me. Hit me with the last hurrah. Pop the monster that's down there. Leaves one more monster and the hammer golem. Dark orbs. Bang. Hammer golem, dark orb, one more monster to the right of the slope, and then another to the right after that. 2 more monsters then. There's one. No, not the bow. Well done, thank you very much. So the safe places to stand are where the blue plants are. So, oh, hello you. You're not supposed to come here. But fine. He's in between those 2 pillars there. It doesn't normally trigger you if you follow the path that I've taken, but as with everything else on this cursed run, things aren't always going to plan. That should be a dead one of the spellcasters, yes. Don't worry about that knight over there. Inside there, where you can see that little hint of blue, there is another spell. There you go. Another spellcaster, and then we are going to pop, and we're going to grab this fire seed. Stand here by the torch, you're fine for a second. go to poison the item behind you for holy water urn. Well, we don't need that anyway, so I'm not even sure where that is supposed to be. Bad notes. Okay, more bow time. Get to this block here. And mage first. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're just going to sidestep to this pillar. There we go. Then use a normal arrow to lure this monster. Give him a good bop. From here as well, we're going to poison this ogre, giant orc, whatever we want to call it. And at the back of this island, we should be outside of his aggro range. There you go. Once the poison wears off, we're going to do it again, and that will be the end of the ogre. Possibly might need an extra arrow in him. Do you mind? I'm actually going to let him come closer. Might need to do a little bit more damage. Okay, he won't aggro us even closer. Yeah, just short. What other arrows do we have? Don't want to use fire. Dark's fine. Fire and poison are the only arrows that we really care about. So, a couple of those should do the trick. Right, poison the giant orc. Next path, there is a monster. There he is. Let's just do a dark orb. Rush the mage right of the hut. So there is the mage to the right of the hut. That Templar should not do anything. Don't worry about that one, we are going to deal with that one, but we need to deal with this one first. And now we can focus on the mage behind, but as you can see there is a monster. Well, you may or may not be able to see it, but there is a monster there, and there is a chance they could aggro, so... So, careful because there is a monster around as well. What I like to do here, screen options, and just make sure your brightness is as high as possible. That's just going to help you with your visibility a little bit more. You can also light a torch, that actually makes a big difference as well. But in this instance, what we're going to do is two-hand, there we go. There is our monster. Boopity, boopity. Right. Now, it is important that you stick to the pillars. I highly recommend use a flame butterfly. Now, there are 2 monsters, and there are also 2 more spellcasters in this area. And we need to get to the end. Ah, there's a monster! I was explaining. Because I lit the torch, that sadly lit me up like a Christmas tree for them as well. So this path gets narrower as we go. So I recommend just stick to the pillars. As I said, with the torch you can actually see the path, which is very useful. Don't be afraid to, when you use your bow, it's going to put your torch out. Don't be afraid to use a few flame butterflies for this area. Because if you do die, you're going to have to do all of this part again from that last bonfire. And that means losing quite a few poison arrows in the process as well. You should have enough, but it's worth keeping them if we can. So that was our first caster. There should be one more monster. There we go. And there's the other caster. Lovely. So just be careful where you stand for this one. There we go. And we have to get to the end because there is a miracle at the end of this path. But as you can see, that drop there is not very visible, and because there's land by the way, it's very easy to fall into that as a trap. So just use your torch, carefully navigate to the end. Grab an Estus Flask Shard, and from the chest, miracle number 18 of 28, Sunlight Blade. And keep your torch out. And perceptive you will have noticed that, thanks to Dark Souls 2 logic, we put the torch in the water when we open that chest, and yet it is still lit. I mean, don't get me wrong, it works in our favour. But just something I find amusing. That item there was a enemy drop, so I'm not worried about that. All I'm worried about right now is, here you go, getting to the hut. And then we know we're back on track. Into the hut we go. Now on my notes I haven't got to do the summon, but I don't know why I don't. Oh, because he draws all the aggro. Let's give it a go. If this doesn't work out, don't do it. If it does work out, do it. Okay. To the right, there is a monster. To the left, there is a Templar. There you go. go. Okay, so from here, can we light a torch here? No. Use a flame butterfly. Light the torch. And you're going to go to 2 o'clock on the clock face. And you're going to follow the edge. Wow, that was a quick curse. Fair enough, we'll use a humanity later. So, follow the edge is what we're doing. For a chest. And this should be Pyromancy number 13 of 24, Fire Tempest. And now, follow the exact same path back. Just stick to the edge. Pots that have never succeeded in cursing me, but managed to curse me instantly. Back to the hut. Right, we are going to lure the priest first. Or the Templar priest. Hello, Hunter, thank you for doing that. There we go. Maybe this is why I didn't summon him before, because he didn't really do anything. Poison the mage. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Right. Head and stick to rocks. Bop 3 monsters. There is a monster. Yeah, that's why we don't summon you. Three and 4. Number 2, and there should be one more. Butterfly. There you are. Monster number 3. You have gone past your aggro range because of the torch. That's fine. Okay, so this is all good. So we don't need to worry about this. And the giant orc here. We're going to knock the branch and we're going to use his aggro range, and we're just going to go with the poison strategy again. 1, 2, 3, 4. keep an eye. Once the health stops dropping, we know it's time to do it again. Take advantage of those aggro ranges. Very important part of Souls games, to be fair. We did that for the souls more than anything, to be honest. Right, once out. There's the mage. Poison bot the mage. Which may mean just having to roll a couple of these because there is no natural cover. Thank you for hitting me. I've got my life ring on, so that's fine. Or ring of regeneration. And Templars 1 by 1. So non-poison ammo. So much for 1 by 1. Great. Thank you, sirs. Right, we're near it. We're nearly at a bonfire, so if you think of this as this is stage 2, we're nearly at the third and final stage. So stick to the grass. There is the hidden mage. And what you want to do is, as you can see there, that one uses the heal miracle. So you're going to have to just keep plying with arrows. Once she's poisoned, I switch to the non-poison arrows. You've just got to keep her stun locked, otherwise she will keep healing herself when she gets low on health, which gets very annoying. Is there anything worth it here? No, but it's in my notes, so we're going to do that. So that other mage that we killed, you can also get from up here. I'm not going to get the item, it's an enemy drop. So, for the fog, carefully stick to the wall for a soul of a hero, a very large soul item. Into the fog, and since it's going to be a bonfire, we're just going to use spells to bop these mushrooms. Gotta love a bit of soul spit. And big old bonfire. If you got cursed like I did, restore your humanity. That's what curse does, it strips you of your humanity. Rest at the bonfire to get your spell uses back. Right. Pop the mushrooms. Just be careful if they spew anything yellow at you. That is going to impact your equipment durability. Now unfortunately, even the little ones here you do have to bop, because when we summon Felicia, she doesn't like mushrooms and she will go attacking them even though we don't want her to. Big mushroom. Thankfully not immune to poison. There you go. We're gonna let poison deal with him. Get your bow ready. I'm not going to summon Felicia yet because we've got some poison that we need to do. So, that mage there is another one of the ones that uses the heal miracle, so she is definitely target number 1. And yep, sadly, this is just where it gets annoying. There we go. So there's the other one. One arrow. Duck behind the rocks. 2 arrows. Duck behind the rocks. 3 arrows. This one doesn't have the heal miracle, so dies to normal methodology. Now, with those gone, in particular the healer, let's summon Felicia, who is hopefully going to help us against the Templars and not fall to her death, which she has a tendency to do. Don't you, Felicia? Right. Want to poison this far right mage as well. Using the pillar as cover, lovely. That way there is only one more mage. So just make sure that Felicia is doing her job and is pulling the aggro. before you spell snipe that mage there. Once that one's dead, then you are welcome to get involved in the fight. Just be careful not to fall off the edge. Hopefully Felicia won't either, but yeah, no guarantees. Well done, Felicia. Hopefully your Felicia is as useful as that one, because that's the most useful she has ever been for me. Do a Templar's Mage, turn back. Left of cave equals soul item. There it is. Let's get our good old flame butterfly. Now Felicia, please don't fall off. No, Felicia. Felicia, you are literally in the way. There we go, well done. Sheesh. Right. Onward. Where we have this glow circle, soul item and dragon bone. And in the middle is another soul item and a twin blade. Well done, Felicia. And now, very careful around here. And we're going to grab sorcery number 23, Homing Crystal Soul Mass. Across to the way. Regather bearings. There's the cave. Right, so outside of all the help that she did there, the reason why we want Felicia is we're about to get invaded. And this particular invader is a rather annoying caster. However, as a 2-on-1, casters are not a problem. Because you just do that. And with that, Felicia is no longer useful to us because actually she makes the boss harder, not easier. So use your black separation crystal and send Felicia back. Right. Get inside. Talk, she'll disappear. I don't know why, it's what she does. Okay. Equip. Hunter's hat. Dreng chest, arms and legs. take off your bow. And get our ring of steel back on. We need to get to below 50%. So what have I put on incorrectly here? Not sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put on there we go. In my case, the forearm gauntlets, but put on whatever gloves you can put on that gives you the best defense, yet keeps you below 50%. So what we're doing is we're improving our roll range for this. The boss is actually not too difficult per se. Having now lost my place in my notes. Great, there we go. So yeah, so this boss, the key thing is when he is inside his skin, which will make sense in a moment, he is invincible. So you can only hit his fleshy face when his fleshy face is showing. And that is the strategy. So, Demon of Song, get a free hit in, and a second if you can. Lovely. And there you go, that's what he's going to do. So now, we can't do any damage to him. Shield up. Get a couple of hits in, and then run. The key thing is, we do not want to be anywhere within range of this thing, because it does so much damage, and that is why Felicia is not helpful, because she spends more time attacking it when she can't do anything. And the extra health that the boss has, she does not even do that amount of damage, let alone enough to warrant. There we go, that's what we're being careful about. Pop. Pop. You do not want to get grabbed by that. That grab is very dangerous, very damaging. So yeah, it is pretty straightforward. One of the reasons why I just love the sorcery hex build for this game is it definitely makes bosses like this so easy, whereas we're not really avoiding attacks per se, we're just keeping out of the general vicinity of it. Shield up moment. There we go. Pop. Beep, beep, beep. Demon of Song Soul, key to the embedded. And we're going to put back our Vengar Helm, Havel Armor, and Havel Hands. Why can I not see the exit? There we go. Okay. Yep. You're gonna have to bop this knight, but it's a standard issue knight, so And there we go. That's how you do standards unite. Opens the door. And we've finally dealt with this horrific area. Take the lift. And at the bonfire we are going to see the weird, creepy, crow-like thing Alvina again. And importantly, we are going to say yes. So yep, don't be alarmed when the bonfire explodes. Doesn't deal damage to you, thankfully. So just remember, you need to say yes.
What drives
Do you still desire peace?
Do you still desire peace?
Sure.
Venerate. You can.
Right. Before the bonfire, just come to the right of the stairs. Grab Radiant Life Gem. Bonfire. And here we are. We're about to go to the Undead Crypt. Used to be equally as hated for me as the area we've just done. However, once you know it, it's not too bad. There's definitely ways that we can make this easy, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So yeah, so we'll do the Medulla part at the beginning of the next video. Hopefully you managed to make it through the horrific singing swamp on your first attempt, similar to this. If not, do not be ashamed if it takes you a few attempts to get there. If you need to go back to Gavlan to get more poison arrows, please do so. It is to me, it is the worst area in the game. So yeah, congratulations for making it through. As always, hopefully you're enjoying following along. Please do like and subscribe. It means so much, so I thank you in advance. And yeah, can't wait to see you in the next video. So as always, bye for now.